Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for being here today. We're here today for the sequel that nobody asked for. In 2019, Democrats held this exact hearing to grill you CEOs on everything from your firm's size to your salaries. Republicans in that hearing used the hearing to focus on systemic risk issues to our current financial system. Clearly, none of us could have predicted what could have happened or what would happen just 1 year later. The pandemic presented us with a once in a generation challenge. Congress, the Fed, and Treasury stood together and met this crisis head on. Your institutions also played a critical role, as did the financial system, generally speaking, banks of all sizes and credit unions of all sizes, and fintechs, making sure that support was available to families and small businesses. You deserve some credit for that. So where are we now? Nearly 50% of adult Americans have been fully vaccinated. Businesses are starting to reopen, and we should be talking about the amazing recovery that has taken place. But I also am very concerned about some of the troubling data that is starting to emerge. The April data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showed that unemployment increased by only 266,000 people. At the same time, we have more than 8 million jobs remain unfilled. Businesses are struggling to hire workers, and the cost of household goods is rising sharply. Our economy is at a fragile moment right now. To be clear, I agree that things are looking up, and that's great. But make no mistake, there are some very troubling signs ahead. So our focus must be on jobs and getting people back to work. That is what Republicans are doing. In fact, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 17 out of the 20 states led by Republicans are recovering jobs the fastest. But Democrats seem to have other priorities. Their so-called American Rescue Plan actively discouraged people from returning to work. And now they're preparing to ram through trillions of dollars more in spending and massive tax hikes, all under the guise of quote unquote infrastructure. Well, Americans are quite literally being forced to pick up the tab for Democrats' progressive agenda items. And our witnesses might be wondering what this has to do with them. Well, I think this is a cautionary tale to be careful what you wish for. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle want you, bank CEOs, to focus on political activism instead of doing what your institutions do best, which is provide capital and serve customers. As we learned in COVID, when you mix science and politics, you get politics. And as we're learning now, when you mix business and politics, you get politics. Well, some may say, come on in, the water's fine, but our political waters are quite troubling, and we don't need the business world to become the political world. I don't think we're better for that, and our economy's better for that. And shunning law-abiding businesses to appease to the woke left as well won't help employers, won't help our economy recover, won't help the average working person in America. Instead, we should be working together on a shared goal of rebuilding the greatest economy in the world that we had pre-COVID and moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, Madam Chair, when will this committee get back to normal? We want to urge normalcy for the American economy and for the American people. For months now, we've gone back and forth about returning to in-person hearings with the option for members to join remotely. I think that's a reasonable request again today. I also think the American people we represent would be pretty ticked off if they knew we weren't going back to work for them and not doing what they have to do on a daily basis. I'm encouraged by vaccines being widely available and us being able to follow safety protocols available. So, CEOs, I look forward to your testimony. I look forward to the questions today. And looking forward to all of us getting back to normal as soon as possible, especially Congress getting back to the work of the American people. Thanks so much, and I yield back.